Yeah, he was right there sitting on the camera.
So yeah, I just laid down, slept in front of my bike.
Uh,
I didn't
in
even
the
get.
middle of the
I
road.
didn't even get out my emergency blanket. No, just had my windbreaker on under my helmet.
Wow.
And I figured I would sleep for a little while and then get cold and wake me up, which it did. And then I started riding. And then after the sun came up, I realized I needed a little more. And so I just did the same thing. I just laid down
Wow.
and just napped for a little bit. It was weird because the roads I were on, there was an occasional car coming by, but no one, at least I was sleeping. They just drove by and didn't care about some guy laying on the side of the road.
That's wild, man. So how long were you riding total? How many hours?
I don't know when I started. When did I start? Oh, I think I started around 10 or 11.
11. Yeah. And right through the night.
Through the
24
night.
hours.
Yeah, and then I got here. I don't know what time was it. Still daylight. 6 or so? 5?
Yeah.
6, yeah.
You were the first one in, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And then you slept through the night.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Slept nice and good. I bought a whole bunch of food at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
More than I could eat.
Yeah.
I thought there would be a freezer. I got 2 pints of
Oh.
non-dairy ice cream. I ate one and then there was no freezer, so I had to throw out the other one this morning. Yeah,
How far are you going to push today? I mean,
I'm just gonna do 100 because
Okay.
that's a nice kind of setup for
yep, that's into
Childress. Yeah,
Cool.
and then from there, usually the 8 day you break that up over like a couple more stops. I'm gonna try and 2 and then go on. But I might just do, or maybe it's 1, 2, 3. I don't remember. I think I'm gonna try and do it in 2 stops.
2 stops.
Yeah, I think you stop in Tule, or I'm gonna try to get to Cameron, and then all the way there.
And then all the way there.
I think that's how I'm gonna try to do it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. You like feel good? Your knees feel good?
Everything's fine. I was just wore out. Like muscles just had no more. Just had no more go. No pain or anything. Just like no.
Just exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe that. You got any expectations for today or for this ride, the next 100 miles? Anything to look
I'm
forward
just
to?
gonna try and. It's just 100, so I'm just gonna try and stay relaxed.
How many bottles of water?
I
do you
have
carry?
5 bottles. I should have brought just 4. It's kind of annoying me because most of the times that one bottle's sitting there empty, and I could have something else in its place, like a Gatorade or a.
To your knowledge, has anybody else finished this race on a single speed?
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. The first year I did it, there was a guy
Oh, okay.
riding. I forget his name. I think he has a record.
I'm sorry.
I think he has a record. That guy I was riding with. I can't remember.
The fastest known.
Yeah, fastest known single
Is that
speed
on a
record.
single speed?
Yeah. He was doing it that year too. His gear looked bigger too, like he was like this.
What's happening?
How's it going, brother?
Good. Thanks again for that shirt,
Oh,
man.
you got it,
That
man.
saved me yesterday.
No worries.
Promise you.
No. I rode, and the sun came up and started going through the steam. Oh, daylight. I took another quick.
That's the best story.
That is. I will never take another Greyhound bus again in my life. I will walk before I take a Greyhound bus again. So I drive my car too scary. But on my way out there, I called the fire department. Just over and over and over again. Nobody answers because I want to leave my truck at the fire station. So when I get there, it's midnight. And I'm going to take a Greyhound bus back to Dallas. And it picks me up at 2 a.m. at the gas station. And so I'm at the fire station. I'm like, I don't want to wake them up at midnight. So I'm like, screw it, I'll just go to the hospital and drop it off. Nobody will know. If I drive to the hospital, there's one car in the entire parking lot in the hospital. So I'm like, I got 20 minutes for the bus to get here. I'm like, I can't help it. So I just park my car right in front of the hospital and jump on the bus. And I go to get on the bus, and it's completely full. And it's full of just homeless and people on drugs. Guys in the back going, and he's reaching for stuff, and so I just was like, okay, I got a seat. So I look 4A, and I walk over, and there's a young lady, and I go, ma'am, that's my seat. No one bless? I go, that's my seat. And she just looks at me. And then she keeps pointing out the window, so I'm thinking somebody else is like with her. And then in the seat next to her is this humongous bag. And then finally she looks, she goes, you sit? And I go, no, you sit, that's my seat. And no. And so I stand there for a couple more minutes, and I finally was, it's 2 a.m. I just drove 8 hours after work. I was like, all right, man, you're pissing me off. Get out of my seat. So she stands up, and when she stands up, I just crawl over and I sit down. You know, I sit there, and this big man walks onto the bus, and he looks over, and he goes, oh, hell no, get out of my seat. And I go, this ain't your seat. And he goes, oh, it's my seat. He goes, I rode on the bus on this seat, and I'm leaving here in that seat. And I go, it's my seat, I paid for it. And he goes, son, what you don't understand is, you might have purchased that seat, but once you get on the bus, you get to choose wherever you want to seat. And I was so mad, I just looked at him and I go, I fucking choose this seat right here. And when I did, the bus just erupted, and they started just, oh my God, you can't say it. And so he started screaming. And then the bus driver's like, I'm calling the police. Well, I don't know how much concealed carry in Texas works over there. So I was like, oh, this can't work. So he gets up and he walks back to him and he's like, you got a ticket? I go, right here. I go, here's my ticket. And he goes, that's your seat? And I go, that's what I told you. So he looks at the guy and he goes, you need to just go to the back. And he was just livid, and he goes all the way to the back. So we finally get on the bus, and I'm out within like 20 minutes, and then I'm done. And then I'm not even halfway to Amarillo, like an hour in, and the bus driver gets on the intercom, who's effing smoking drugs on the bus? And I'm thinking, the whole bus is. I mean, you know, take your pick. So it's like, I don't even know where we're on the road. He just pulls it over onto the shoulder, turns the light on, comes walking back, and he goes, who's smoking? And I'm like, I don't even know. And he goes, tell me who's smoking. I'm fixing to start searching people. I'm like, that's the wrong thing to say to a bunch of criminals on the bus. So now they're all screaming at him. And he finally just goes back to the bus, gets in the driver's seat, starts driving, leaves the light on. And they all start screaming, turn the effing light on, turn. And he's like, I'll turn the light on when I haven't want it. And he drove all the way to Amarillo with the light on, just to make people mad. So we get to Amarillo at 5 a.m. And as I walk into the bus station, the guy behind the counter, he goes, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, what? And he goes, you got a delay on your bus. And I was like, go figure. And he's like, it's till 8. And I'm like, it's 5. I'm like, what's, a couple more hours. He goes, no, it's 8 p.m. if it comes. He goes, your best bet is you'll get back to Dallas, not tomorrow, but the next morning at 5 a.m. And I'm like, dude, just tell me you got something. Just anything going east. I don't care if it's Oklahoma. Just give me somewhere east that's out of here. And he goes, I got nothing. And so then I had called Chewy, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. And they were like, catch a flight. And I'm like, I got a gun. I can't take a flight. So then he's like, how about a rental car? Because I was going to do that in Tucumcari. They didn't have a rental car. So I found a rental car, and they don't open till like 8:30. And I'm like, I got 3 hours. I was like, might as well walk. I didn't realize when you leave the bus station, that's not a very good area. You get about two blocks over, and it's like bars everywhere. And car cruises up next to me, and just right next to me as I'm walking. And I'm like, oh, this is it. And they actually pull up to the light and just sit through the green light. And I'm like waiting for me to catch up to them. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I get there, they turn the music up real loud and drive off. And I walk to the rental car, get my rental car, and now it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting there going, I left my truck at the hospital. It's daytime now. I'm just gonna go back. So I drove back to Tucumcari in the rental car, then dropped it off, got my Tahoe, drove it to the fire station. They answered, we're like, oh yeah, just leave it here. So then I'm 4 miles from my rental car. So then I walk back to the rental car and then get in the car and drive home. And I was in the car 20 hours of the 25 hours I was gone. So that's where I'm like, I gotta get to Tucumcari so I can get my car. So there's no way I can't finish this thing. So that's because I'm a first timer. You know? I have no idea. Yes, Steve, he's got it all planned out, not me. So I
told Dana, I was
tears when he's telling me his story.
I was like,
You're driving.
you should have waited like 2 more days. I could have told my wife I'd follow you up there and drop the car off. And he's like, no, I'm committed. I'm committed. I already bought the ticket. They're like, no, I'm committed. I was like,
vegan choice.
sponsored to you. by-
Yes, Crustables need to sponsor me. I've eaten about 40 of these so far.
Y'all have fun. Be careful.
Yes, sir.
Sir, drive safe. He's so cute. He's like, I got my electric bicycle back home.
Hey, it gets him out.
It does. That's what I told him.
My in-laws were talking about getting one. They do. They're cool. My wife wants one.
You can find them.
Yeah, they had that Trek day when we went up there, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I could do this." Look at the sticker price, and it was like $3,500.
Yeah.
And that was the cheap. That was the cheaper one. I think he said on those.
8 minutes to fuel up.
I said it was like 100 miles. What you get out of that battery?
What is it like? 7 hours of ride time ahead? Or what are y'all trying to do? 8 hours? 10 hours?
I'll be happy to tell.
Well, ride time, we've been averaging like 11.5.
I'm glad God turned the fan on.
How many miles did you do yesterday?
I think that was 125 yesterday. Yeah, I just follow the, whatever is the party is. So today's gonna be like, I think 105.
Just.
But this wind, man, it's
Yeah.
the south wind is so strong with this open field.
Yeah.
You cannot even feel the downhill. It's just like it's still flat.
That's rough.
Worse
Yeah.
worse on the climb.
Worse on the climb, yeah.
It's a good time to meditate.
Is that what you do when you're out here?
Yeah, it's actually a spiritual journey for me.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like the you heard about El Camino?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they walk in Spain, the St. James route.
Yeah.
So as I start, I just keep praying the rosary. So we go, oh, wow, yeah. So it's a good time to reflect upon, what's going on in life, and where you could have done better. I used to run a marathon, and I did some series of marathons. Like I did 6 days marathon, 7 days marathon. It's like 7 days in 7 states, a marathon every day. So you have to drive. Day one, you have to drive to another state, and then morning you run the marathon, and then you drive to another state. So it's a series of marathons. And what I found out is, so boring in the route, so I keep running, and it's refreshing. And before you know it, you're done. So
That's awesome.
so when I run, I always lost track of the rosary. So this time I bring the rosary with me, so I will not be lost track of the mysteries, as we call.